my name is Natasha from the blog and YouTube channel Mountain Valley Refuge, and today we're going to talk about chamomile tea. Now, growing your own chamomile is very easy. In fact, my mother-in-law was out walking in her garden one evening and left her cup of chamomile tea out in the garden. And when she got back the following day or weeks, I'm not sure, she just tossed her tea bag right into the garden bed, and the next spring had a chamomile plant come up. In the early spring, the plant will begin to push out green foliage, and then later in the spring, close to the early parts of summer, it will start to flower these beautiful little daisy-like white flower petals with jelly-tot yellow centers, which smell delicious and are beautifully fragrant for a tea. It's got a very specific kind of smell, but I think the taste of the chamomile tea is very much sweet, kind of like honey. I know some people don't say that, but I think the reason is because the tea bags that you buy in the store are wildly different than the chamomile tea that you would get in your garden. And I actually think that the best kinds of chamomile tea is coming directly out of your garden. I say this because for years I drank chamomile tea that I bought from the store, you know, those 10 packs in a box. It does not even compare to the real stuff. Not even close. Not only is that a totally watered down taste of the chamomile plant, but it's actually much, much sweeter and delicious flavor that you don't get in those store-bought tea bags. At least I was not getting them in the general tea brands out in the grocery stores. Until I grew my own chamomile and dried it. I won't forget the first summer I only had a small plant, and I picked enough flowers to dry and preserve for about half a pint jar. Anyway, I kept that pint jar for almost all of the winter, just thinking I had so little I didn't want to use it up. And then when I saw my plant come back up this year, I thought, well, I better be using up my chamomile because I'm about to get new ones. And the taste is immaculate. It really is so delicious. And if you can't grow your own chamomile tea, I suggest that you find some local source nearby, either a natural food store, or I'll link some websites below of people who actually farm with herbs or grow them in big quantities, but hold to the organic practices of it, and you just know that you're going to be able to get a good crop. Order from those companies or grow your own chamomile because it tastes so different than just buying a tea bag at the store. Now, if you don't know, chamomile is good for helping people with sleep. So if you've got any trouble sleeping, chamomile is your go-to tea. And so if you're actually using the real plant, it can zonk you completely out, which it did for me. So the true stuff, and depending obviously on the quantity that you're using, can really give you a good night's rest and you'll sleep really, really deep like I did. But there are many other reasons why it's good to grow your own chamomile tea, not only if you enjoy teas and specifically having a little bit of extra sweet flavor in your teas, but chamomile tea is actually good for many other things as well. It is anti-inflammatory, it's an antioxidant, and it also is an astringent, which is kind of like a binding, healing kind of medicine. As I always say, do not take medical advice from people on the internet if you do not know what their backgrounds are. I'm not giving anyone any medical advice. I'm just telling you about my experience and the things that I'm reading. And if you want to do more research from here to figure out for yourself, you should go ahead and do that. I'm just giving you information that I have read and become aware of myself. But chamomile tea has been studied and somewhat proven to definitely help people with sleep, help cure any kinds of stomach aches or pains, any kind of ulcers or sores, skin irritations, all around just good for the body, the digestive system, any kind of pains and aches. And some even claim that it can heal or at least prevent things like osteoporosis or colic in children, menstrual cramps, prevent cancer, many kind of health benefits, all packed in this beautiful flower, which is so easy to grow, so easy to pick and dry. When the plant starts giving me the flowers in the spring, I'll pinch off these white flowers from the plant. Now I found that the more I pick, the more will come. as long as the season will last. And for us, it is not very long. Now this also depends on what kind of varieties you're growing. Now we're growing two varieties, the German chamomile and the Zlotyland chamomile. I don't know if I'm saying that right. I'll put the link down below to those seeds if you want to purchase some from the Baker Creek Company, which is an heirloom seed company, if you don't know about them, out of Missouri, and they specialize in preserving heirloom seeds. Now the German variety will bloom earlier in the spring and finish a little bit earlier, while the Zlotyland will bloom a little bit later and carry on for a little longer into the summer. The German is a little bit smaller and the Zlotyland is a bit bigger flowers. Once I've picked my flowers, I'll bring them inside, lay them out on a pan and put them in my oven to dry at the lowest temperature possible. For me, that is 170 degrees Fahrenheit on my oven, and I'll let them dry for probably 2-3 hours, checking back regularly now and then, just kind of testing at what point I can crush the flower, then I know it's close to dry. Once the flowers are completely dried, I'll take them out of the oven and let them just cool on my countertop. And then once it's completely cooled, I'll store it in a jar in my cupboard for lots of chamomile tea, or to be mixed with lots of other kinds of teas to get either the benefits from the plant or add to the delicious flavor, which any kind of sweet taste that you can add to loose leaf teas is really a nice addition to a tea. So I really appreciate the chamomile tea, and I hope that this video has been helpful to you, and you have now also maybe learned some new things about chamomile tea, even just how easy it is for you to grow it yourself. If you don't have a garden, you could pop it right into a container with some soil on your balcony or outside your door, in your room by a window, and grow your own chamomile tea. It is really that easy. It flowers from spring to early summer, maybe midsummer if you're lucky, and then you can dry it in your oven and have your own chamomile tea. Definitely worth it. Thank you so much for checking out our channel, and if you like videos like this, any kind of homemaking or cooking and baking, things like that, please go ahead and subscribe, and then you can catch some of our next videos. See ya. Bye.